A tip about the work plane and some shortcut keys like Alt-O and Home key. Now first of all, Alt-O will offset the work plane to the intersection of my mouse cursor and the geometry. So if I hover over here, my mouse cursor is over here. When I press Alt-O, then you see that the work plane jumps to that location where my cursor intersected with the geometry. It did not reorient the workplane, it just offset it. Now, an important factor to take into consideration, just like in a previous video I explained with Edge Slice tool, that selection hit size in preferences, so I have my preferences window open, input selection hit size, and I've set it to 50, which is fairly high. By default it is 8. That also plays a role. So if I hover towards that vert over there, you see that it highlights very quickly, and when I press Alt-O right now, although my cursor is over here, actually the workplane has been offset to that vert because of my selection hit size. So it is more visible when I take that outer vert here. So I'm in the center of that polygon with my cursor now. If I near that vert, it highlights. When I press Alt-O right now, you see that the workplane has been offset to exactly that vert. So setting the workplane is being influenced by selection hit size in preferences. And it actually doesn't matter in which component mode you are. So if I go to polygon component mode right now, of course my polygon is being highlighted, and what I don't see is the highlighting of the vert. But the selection hit size is still being taken into account. So when I press Alt-O, the workplane now should not jump because I am in range of the selection hit size in combination with my mouse cursor's position with intersecting the geometry. So Alt-O, you see it did not jump, it stayed right in place. And if I lower my selection hit size to the default 8 and now go back to almost the same position I was earlier over here, and now press Alt-O, it will jump. It was a slight jump because the distance was short, but now it's not on that vert anymore. So when positioning or offsetting the workplane with the shortcut key Alt-O, which offsets the workplane to your intersection of the mouse cursor with the geometry, the selection hit size in preferences is an important factor, and of course the orientation. So if I press the End key to go back to my reset workplane, if I rotate my view right now, you see that my workplane also has jumped. You can also see that here on the widget. Now if I press Alt-O, it will be offset in that direction. And the same if I orient to the top, if I press Alt-O, it will be offset, but according to my original workplane. I press the N key again, so I'm back to my reset workplane. And now a word about the Home key. So if I select a polygon and press Shift Home, the workplane is being centered on that polygon and rotated. If I press End key to reset and deselect, and now simply press the Home key, so not Shift Home, but simply the Home key, now the workplane is being offset and rotated to that polygon, but not in the center of the selection. So I didn't actually make a selection, it was just over that polygon. And in this case, the selection hit size does not play a role. So if I go to vertex mode, you see if I set my selection hit size to 50, and when I near that vert over there and press the Home key, you see that my center of my workplane did not jump to that vert. So with Alt-O, it does take into account the selection hit size. With the home key it doesn't. So if I press Alt O, now it has been offset to that vert, but when I press the home key and when I near it and it highlights, when I press the home key, it will be offset and oriented to that position of the geometry, but it does not take into account the selection hit size.